Morning. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to start reading through the Sermon on the Mount, which is going to be in the Holy Bible, Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to read through the Beatitudes and just kind of take it from there. But I hope you all are having a great day. I hope everyone's doing well. So it's the Beatitudes, it's Matthew 5. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. That's good stuff. So the Beatitudes is going to be the 10 blesseds that Jesus gives us. So, reading through my notes here, it's going to be, just some interesting facts. And it's that, Jesus went up a mountain like Moses when he gave the law. So, Jesus sitting on the top of the mountain and preaching this sermon, which is essentially the greatest sermon ever given. It's just he's declaring these things with authority, within the same way that Moses declared, the 10 Commandments, and then, of course, 613 other laws that God had given him at that time. Here it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And just a note that I wrote down here is what that means is to empty ourselves of personal desire and recognize our need for God. And I've heard it said that, once we start following God, that, he will satisfy all the desires of our heart. And, the interesting is that the desires that we now have as followers of God are not really the desires that we had when we started our journey. That, God really changes our hearts, and he changes the way that we think and the way that we see things. And, the things that we ultimately want in our life are things that are now different. The things that I used to want so bad, I'm not really too much interested in, and it's the things that I never wanted before that are now so important to me. And it's really God that had made that change within my heart. The second thing says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." It's the mourning. Well, what exactly are we mourning? And I believe it to be, and what I had written down is that that's dying to self. It's not easy to change. It's not easy to grow. It's not easy to become different from how you had always been. So there's definitely a mourning process there, because it's like you're letting go of something that had always been. And it's that dying to self piece, that growth, that change, that not giving into the temptations, the trying to be different, than what I had been in the past. Next it says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." And what that means is to trust God, submit to him, longing for fullness of God. You got to trust God first if you're going to submit yourselves to him. And sometimes even you got to just go through that process to where it's like, okay, God, I give my spirit to you. I give my life to you. Have it and do with me as you would. And then you get to experience the results of that. And then you get to realize that, this is a really good thing. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. And really, ultimately, that's just wanting to live a godly life. Wanting to do the next right thing, wanting to help other people. When I'm able to get out of myself and not really spend my time thinking about me, and I'm able to focus on other people like my son and my girlfriend and, the people that I work with and the people that I help at work, I have a really good day, because it gives me a sense of fulfillment and it gives me a sense of purpose. And ultimately, I think that what I'm doing is I'm aligning my will with God's will in my life. You know, I was talking yesterday about this, and it's like, well, how do you always know the difference between your will and God's will? And I think one of the clearest one of the clearest answers that I've gotten is that, I know that I'm living in God's will when I'm able to do something that I normally wouldn't be able to do. And for me, that was, for a long time, that was drinking. I'm almost 8 years sober. So for a long time, I would try to quit drinking, and I would keep going back. I would have these like ideas and these plans on how I was going to go about stopping, and then eventually I would always start again. And then now in July, it would be July 28th, it'll be 8 years of sobriety for myself, and it's like, well, how do I know? And it's like, well, I know because it's something that I was never able to do before. So I give all glory and credit to God. That's how I know that I'm living in the will of God, because I'm able to live my life in a way that I was never able to live it before. And I think that I can really apply that to anything. Our strength is often found in our weaknesses. And I think that it's when we're able to just surrender and accept that we can't do it, that we're able to paradoxically move forward. When we accept our circumstances as we are, it seems like we're able to grow and change. And that's important for me to do daily in, every asset of my life, every facet of my life, and with all my assets too. Yeah. To think that today that I have a house, I have a car, I have a career, I'm able to raise my son, I have healthy friendships today, I have an amazing girlfriend, I have a relationship with my dad, who I didn't talk to for 18 years. I didn't see him for 20. I have a relationship with my mom, who's living in a long-term care facility, who can't even get out of bed. And I just try to make the best of that situation, even though it's so challenging at times. And my own feelings and emotions can kind of go south, but I really do try to just focus and push through them and just try to help her, and obviously pray a lot, and just try to keep God with me when I go visit her, because it can be, I'm not gonna lie, it can be a bit overwhelming and frustrating sometimes, but I love her dearly. So I just try to help her, as much as I possibly can. But really, I would say that that's it. So we've gone through 6 of these Beatitudes. We'll go through the rest of them later. But, if you're struggling in any area of your life, what I would just suggest, and what worked best for me, is just accept it. Because within that acceptance, you also find surrender. You're able to see yourself, see myself for who I truly am. And there's no BS there. It's like, okay, God, I see myself for who I am. I recognize that I'm not able to get through this, or I recognize that I'm not able to do what I want to do in a way that, allows me to move forward. So I truly need your help. And I think it's once we start recognizing that we do need God's help in a particular situation, that situation begins to change, and we start to become in a way that, we were never able to be before. It's an amazing thing. It's God's grace. It's a gift to us all. It's free. You just got to receive it. So I would just challenge you to value yourself today and receive what God has to offer, and, to give it a try. If you're not already doing that, what's the worst that could happen? So I'm pulling for y'all. I hope everyone has a great day, and you're not alone, man. We're in this together, men and women, man, we're in this together. So God bless y'all, and I hope y'all take care.